What's up, chill guys? We are back with another banger video, and yes, I know the schedule's been super inconsistent as of lately, but that's all about to change. We're going to come back with 2 banger videos this week, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, without further ado, let's get back into today's video, which is the problem with boxing. Now, I'm sure every one of you watched the boxing card that was last weekend. That was Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven, and it was a great fight. I mean, Rico Verhoeven showed up, gave it his all. I personally had the fight scored pretty much every round except round 4 for Rico, and we all saw what happened in that 11th round. What did you think about it, Alex?
I had it 8-2 going into the end of the round that the stoppage was in. I thought it was one of the worst stoppages I've ever seen. I mean, that was like the type of stoppage you see at a Golden Gloves competition.
Literally, yeah. I mean, it
was one of those ones where you see at a local boxing show. It was so bad. It was horrible.
Yeah, why don't we talk about that before we talk about Rico's performance? Let's just talk about the stoppage itself, because.
And let's not just talk about the stoppage, but the scorecards.
Right, yeah, that was another thing
they
that
had them
confused me.
even going into the later rounds.
Insane. Who was watching that fight thinking that? I mean, that just shows how corrupt boxing really is. The fact that
I think it goes to show that Rico was going to lose that fight no matter what.
Regardless.
Either the bad stoppage or they were going to rob him in the later rounds.
Literally. The only way they were going to fuck over Rico was if Rico knocked him out, which even then they probably would have pulled some strings. I guarantee you, if Rico Verhoeven had Usyk in that position where he had them, they wouldn't have stopped the fight right there.
I mean, when you look at older fights, look at Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury was unconscious, eyes closed on the canvas.
Yep.
And they let him revive himself back from the dead and fight the rest of the
fight.
fight.
Revival. Yeah.
But Rico, his eyes didn't look like they were there, and then they stopped the fucking fight.
And guys, it was 8 seconds left of the round, and the ref claimed he didn't hear the bell. But my biggest thing with that is I don't give a fuck if you heard the bell or not. You do not stop a fight right there. That was in no ways of being stopped. Rico Verhoeven, yes, he just got dropped and got back up. He was defending himself. Usyk was landing bombs, but he was still defending himself. And guess what? It is a championship level fight. They are fighting for a belt. This is one of the
championship rounds as well. This was round 2.
There was 1 round left of the fight.
Exactly.
Like, let's say Rico Verhoeven survived, and then the next round, Usyk knocked him out. That's fair play. You know, he worked hard to get there. That happened. And that could have happened. We don't know. Well, we won't know unless they run it back, because, I mean, just from that round alone, it could have. Usyk seemed to finally have some success in that fight after he dropped Rico. But Rico also could have recovered. He had a great game plan throughout that fight. I mean, Usyk could not figure him out that entire fight. Rico was doing this weird hunchback style, but it was working.
Popeye boxing.
Literally, yeah, the Popeye boxing, bro. The why I oughta stance, dude. It was working. And this is the thing with boxing, bro. Boxers will never transfer over to MMA or kickboxing or Muay Thai. You will never see a boxing champion do this. They will only stay in their sport to do that. And also, I'm not hating on Usyk. I'm a big fan of Usyk. He's a great boxer. One of the best boxers of all time, honestly. There's a reason he was so protected in that fight. But I mean, it's just crazy, like the corruption and bias. It's like at that point, it's like, why even get in the ring? You know?
At that point, it's also, as a fan, why even watch if it's a predetermined outcome?
Exactly. You know, if
I wanted that, I would watch the WWE. If I wanted to know that it was going to end a certain way, no matter what.
Exactly. Like, dude,
I wouldn't watch a competitive sport where there's not supposed to be a fixed outcome. If no matter what happens, they rig the scorecards or rig the finish.
Right. Like, honestly, man, as a fan, I could care less what happens in boxing next. Like, that just pissed me off so bad. It's like, what's the point of even sitting through an event, waiting 3 hours for the fight to start after the co-main ends, and have the people talking about the main event for 3 hours rather than just starting the fight. Then we get the 30-minute walkouts, and then all for a fight that isn't even really that crazy. Let's be real. It wasn't a bad fight, but it wasn't anything like, whoa. I don't know. Boxing just hasn't been the same. It doesn't have that appeal anymore. MMA has everything you need in it. It will always, yeah, sure, the cards aren't always great, and we've had weeks where we had shitty decisions, but dude, at the end of the day, MMA is just a way better product. You're getting what you want. You get the matchups that we want to be made. We don't get this bullshit where the champion has to have a tune-up fight before they can fight each other. Like, what? Just the concept alone of that just blows my mind. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua agreed to fight, but before they fight each other, they have to fight these random guys so they can get a win and look good before they fight each other. What sense does that make? Why are we doing this?
You don't need tune-up fights if you're fighting 3 times a year.
Real.
Your tune-up fight is your last fight because you're an active athlete.
Exactly. That's like if Ilya, I mean, you could argue Ilya's kind of doing that, but it's not the same thing. But I'm saying, let's say Ilya beats Gaethje. He requests another fight. Let's say he wants Moicano, and then Arman fights fucking, I don't know, Chris Duncan.
BSD.
Yeah, BSD or something. Before they fight each other. Because, Arman's on his win streak. We do all this. They're like, wait, before we fight each other, we need one more fight in between that. MMA fans would go fucking ballistic. We would boycott the UFC. Dana White would have a hit on him. It wouldn't look good for him.
I want to say this. I don't necessarily agree with the whole stuff of boxing. I don't agree with overturning the a lot of the current legislation in place for boxing and boxer rights. However, you can't blame Dana for doing that when you have to blame these boxing organizations that aren't enforcing the best fight the best.
Right.
It shouldn't be a 1-year ordeal where you finally get 2 of the best boxers in a division going at it.
Exactly.
That shouldn't be a special thing. That should be a championship bout. That should be multiple times a year. The issue with boxing is that you have, the undisputed, not the undisputed champion, but you got the champion fighting the number 6 guy with, 4 guys ahead of him. Everyone's undefeated. They're all 29-0, 25-0, 24-0. They all got these records, but you look at their records, they're fighting guys in a fucking casino who have a record of 8-35.
Literally, they're fighting street beefs.
Journeymen are a part of the sport. That's part of it, but there's a reason when you get to the UFC, you stop fighting journeymen and you start fighting people, your level.
Right.
You got guys who have 25 fights fighting somebody who is a full-time plumber still.
Yeah, literally. You're fighting street beefs.
That's why Dana White was able to infiltrate the sport so easily and get the Zuffa boxing shit done and get big names immediately.
Yeah, and at least
because he made it streamlined: 1 belt, 1 championship, 1 ranking.
Right.
Show pay, win pay.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's simple. It may not be the most moral. It may not be the most ethical. It may not be the best for fighter rights. It is can be a monopoly, but you have to see the appeal to it when you look at what they're competing with.
Exactly. That was perfectly well said, man. I mean, yeah, and fucking what? Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. How long did it take for them to fight when they were both destined to fight?
It took so long.
It took so long. Tank fought 4 different guys who should not have been in there with him before he fought Ryan Garcia. And it was like, what are we doing? And then the fight finally came upon us, and it sucked. I mean, dude, why do we...
They have these bullshit rehydration clauses and you can't do this and you can't do that and we have to, do a piss test to monitor this, and it's like, okay, what the fuck is the point?
It's like, why as the consumer are we continuing to watch this stuff? Why do we keep falling for this? Every single time we just set ourselves up for disappointment. Why do we keep doing this?
When you look at a good fight, it's, some shit like this happens where the ref stops it and some guy's up 9 rounds and gets hurt with an uppercut.
Yep. Dude, fire that. That ref should be barred for life from ever having a commissioning job, a reffing job, any type of job ever. You can go fucking work at Waffle House.
Arby's, bro.
Arby's, yeah, you don't even deserve the right to work at Waffle House. Go work at fucking Arby's. That's how much of a disgrace you are to the combat sports legacy, man. You ruined Rico Verhoeven's chance to destroy boxing and boxing fans. That was the number one thing that was on my mind watching that fight, is finally the boxing fans can shut the fuck up about, oh, well, he wouldn't do this against a boxer in the boxing ring. Oh, he'd get destroyed if he ever set foot in a boxing ring. Yeah, no shit, it's a boxing ring. How about you come into an actual fight? Because I guarantee you, a boxing champion would last maybe a round, if not more than that, against an MMA fight, a top 5 MMA fighter, even top 20. They would die to low kicks instantly. One double leg gets wraps, bro.
Agreed, bro.
And I'm telling you.
And another thing I noticed, Usyk has multiple belts.
Right.
Only one was on the line. How can you? How
Right.
can you justify having multiple belts and not being able to put any of them up?
Well, I believe they even said before that they weren't planning on putting any of the belts on the line before the fight.
Yeah,
before
only the
fight happened.
WBC belt was on the line. I
Yeah,
think
which-
they folded in a little bit. And I get it, Rico's not in the rankings, but you're still a
But
fighter with
you're
your
fighting
belt
the
attached
guy
to his
who-
name,
yeah.
fighting somebody in a pro match, but his belt's not on the line. I
Right.
don't get that.
Like,
And for anybody wondering, I was critical of Max for not putting it on the line versus Ilya as well.
exactly, which we all should be.
I think if you have a belt, every time you fight, it should be on the line.
I agree.
Unless it's in a different division.
Right, because the only person benefiting that is the guy who has the belts. The guy who's fighting, the
Yes.
challenger doesn't get anything from it. Like,
And then you kind of leave it with like a paper champ situation where, like,
Yeah.
Max was holding the BMF belt after he got knocked out by
right. I don't know, man. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But yeah, I mean, honestly, watching that fight, like even in the middle of the fight, I was thinking to myself, you know what? Ilya Taporia could make the move over to boxing, dude. It really made me think that. It really made me think, dude, if we are seeing this right now, because Usyk, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the number 1 pound for pound boxer in the world right now. He could be in the top 3. That's just what I saw when I looked it up. I don't know the official boxing rankings. I don't know where to find them, but that's just what I saw. And Rico Verhoeven also is an incredible boxer too. We saw in that fight, but he is a kickboxer. Dude's a kickboxer hard. Dude, if we are seeing Ilya land these combos that he's throwing in his fights, I'm liking his chances in a boxing ring. Fight Ryan Garcia, knock him out, and then fight Canelo, bro. Who knows what would happen? Only time will really tell, but I really like his chances, bro.
I'm gonna be real here. I do think the lighter divisions are gonna make it even more challenging.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, that is true.
I'll say this. I think that if Ilya would have to dedicate, I think Conor made the mistake of really only taking like a year
Right,
to
yeah.
transition. He really didn't take long to transition into boxing. And
Right.
he fought one of the greatest boxers of all time.
That's
I think if Ilya would have to take more time, I think he'd have to be
right,
very, very dedicated to it, and it could make it competitive. I'm not going to say win.
right.
I also don't know who Ilya would really fight if he came over.
But
I'm not sure the weight.
yeah, that is true. But my thinking is that I'm looking at it in the UFC. Who has the best boxing skills that I think could transfer to the ring? It's Ilya Taporia. He fights literally
Absolutely,
like a
yeah.
boxer. If there's anyone I was picking from the roster to go represent the sport in a boxing ring, I'm picking Ilya all day.
It would be Ilya.
It would definitely be Ilya. Maybe even Pereira. Pereira low key could do good in a boxing ring now too. Pereira.
I think since he's heavyweight now,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
transferred over to heavyweight boxing. I probably a week ago would have said he'd probably get smoked by Usyk, but at this rate, I
Shit.
don't know.
We just saw a kickboxer do to Usyk. Send fucking Pereira in the ring to fight Usyk, dude. We don't need a fucking ref, dude. But, yeah, man. I think boxing is just a corrupt sport to the core. It's not really worth it anymore to really watch through. And, I mean, shit, what do we do next for Rico? Do they run the rematch? I mean, there's a lot of things you could do with him.
Yeah, I mean, who could they put him against that's not Usyk? I mean, I could see them doing what they did with Francis and just giving him the next best guy. You know
Like,
what I mean?
winner of Joshua versus Fury would be cool.
They could give him them. They could give him Dubois. They could give him.
Yeah, there's a lot. Deontay
Honestly,
Wilder.
I think it would be funny if the guy. I think Rico just versus Wilder could be fun.
That would be a good fight.
Because they're both, honestly, Wilder's kind of unorthodox for a boxer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that would be crazy to see if Verhoeven could survive the power of Wilder, because he still got it. And, I mean, That's the thing.
Yeah, I still got it.
He does. Dude, I can't believe the UFC lowballed Rico Verhoeven, because how sick would it be to see Rico versus Pereira in an MMA match for the belt?
Dude, I know he said they offered him a good amount of money, but I also wonder, like, what's a good amount of money? Is it $650,000?
Right,
You're gonna have to
right.
pay more than that for a Rico.
You know, he definitely made bank against Usyk. That's for sure. That's why he took that.
Probably 8 figures.
Literally, yeah. But I mean, I understand it would be such a big pay cut, but bro, Rico, if you're watching this, please go to the UFC and fight Alex Pereira. It would be generational. That fight would feed families for years upon end, man. And I think maybe Rico could get it done even in an MMA match, because I mean, he is probably one of the greatest kickboxers of all time, especially right now. I mean, the only thing you'd have to worry about, obviously, is the grappling. But, I mean, Pereira's not going to shoot a double leg.
Pereira's mainly been working on his defense just because those guys are going to try to take him down.
Right. I really don't think Pereira's going to be shooting, because that was the same narrative people had against Pereira when he fought Adesanya the first time. Everyone was like, oh, he's just going to take him down. He's going to out-grapple Pereira. He's going to look like a white belt on the ground. But then it looked competitive when they brought it to the ground. It was actually Pereira who initiated the grappling, I believe.
Yeah, it was a horrible shot, but it was interesting to see that he initiated it.
Right, yeah. But yeah, is there anything else you wanted to add to that, Alex?
I don't have anything to add.
All right.
I just think that boxing needs something to start over.
Yes. I think they need to let us, the chill guys, we need to get a hold of Aiden Ross. He needs to lend us a bunch of money. Maybe he can join us too for the commentary. You know, we get Strickland, we get Guru. Throw Bedtime and Lucas there.
We need like $250 million.
We don't even need that much money, bro. We could just use less than $1 million. We could put together a better boxing promotion than whatever the fucking WBC or whatever they're doing. Whatever the Saudis bought out, dude, we could put on a better promotion. I guarantee you, we would do that.
Dude, I agree with you there. I think we beat every major promoter. I think we even beat Zuf. I think we beat Dana.
I think so too. Yeah, we'll have Ty's Fight Club doing the post fight interviews. He can conduct those.
Yeah, ringside interviews.
Yep, ringside interviews, of course. Yep. I mean, shit, and we would make the matchups that people want to see. We wouldn't have any tune-up fights. We'd make the best fight the best. And you know what? We wouldn't even care about records. You know, if you have a 10 losses, 12 losses, shit, we don't care. As long as you're a good fighter, come fight for us.
Do you go in there and do you swing every time? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
How many losses you got?
Yes, sir. And we could do a street beef style sort of thing where you don't really need to have any experience. If you want to fight for us, you can fight. I think that's something never before seen, you know, in a professional boxing ring, you know. It might lead to some mismatches, but hey, we'll figure out what the good ones are.
We'll try our best to avoid 40-0s versus 1-3s.
Right, yeah, we'll do our best. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, anyways, guys, I think that's it. Boxing is corrupt as hell. Rico Verhoeven was robbed, and he is the world heavyweight boxing champion. He defeated Alexander Usyk last Saturday, and the ref should be fired from everything. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We covered a lot of great topics. This was another banger for you all, and we're going to get back to a more consistent schedule starting this week. Well, that's been it today. Chill out.